Hello. Let me smack the mic. Hello, if you missed the earlier videos, we're going through why it's been hard to come back to talking about politics, as well as going through basically why I've lost hope. I really think we're f***ed. This man, his administration, and the ignorant cronies he calls his base did not just get here by accident. I think the biggest problem is the more silent problem. That being people who still think it's 1997 and that you can choose to not be informed about what's going on in the White House. People seem to think that you can just not be a political person, and let me tell you, this is a fact. Neither am I. Yes, I did become politically activated after some person pretending to be a parent took me to see Fahrenheit 9/11. After that, I wanted to know more, not because I'm a political person, but because I realized how important it was. And it hasn't been until meeting more people who are still not political that I realized I'm not either. It's just important to pay attention and to talk about. As in, we do not have a choice, we must choose a side and say it out loud. Political debate is toxic, confusing, defeating, exhausting, and after that, you gotta turn around and say something. And we would all just love to talk about comedy or music or video games or even a podcast. Anything else is better to talk and think about, but it depresses me to no end that adults can still choose to walk through life like they don't have to acknowledge politics and what's happening in the White House. This is going to cause fights, and I'm serious, but the same way I don't let conservatives I grew up with come at me in the DMs with some joke they sent me whilst on the toilet, true story, is going to start being the same way I approach the non-political, especially since there are still some conservatives who are trying to use the I'm not political line as a mask. We know who you are. Nice try. But the point is, we've all got to be informed, and we all have to be saying something if we're not actively involved. Anybody who doesn't stand up and say something to their friends, their coworkers, their family, people they come across, I don't trust you anymore. You've got to start saying something. This has been going on long enough. But anyway, I truly appreciate you for watching. I'm going to try to keep up with these series as best as I can. It may look a little bit different, but we're going to try to keep it going somehow, just because not only do I need an outlet, I can't be the type of person to just step away from talking about the news as much as it's been depressing me the past year. 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. Stay tuned for the next series of videos. Sorry, this is a little bit kind of slapdash for the end, but I didn't write this part. I kind of changed what I was going to do. I probably won't even include that in the edit. Or maybe I will. Either way, thank you very much for watching. See you next week.